In this video, I'm going to explain to you what N8N is and how you can start using AI to your advantage. What is N8N? N8N is an automation platform and it's considered a no-code and low-code platform, so you don't really need a bunch of coding skills to be able to build out automations, and that is what's great about these low-code platforms. And so when I'm building automations, my main focus is to scale my business and save me time on tedious tasks that I don't want to complete, as well as make me more money. So essentially, I want to build myself a team of agents, and so I can output 10 times the work as if I were to do it on my own. Why should you use N8N? Save massive time, build automations once, and run them automatically. So this is true to some extent. There's always some maintenance that you'll have to do with these automations, for example. But for the most part, you can make them active, and then these automations will run while you sleep and do work for you. It allows you to focus on high-value work instead of tedious processes, as I mentioned before. So anything that you hate to do that takes you hours of time, you can probably automate it. So you can think of it like this. If an automation saves your team an X amount of hours per week, you save time and make more money. So if you give an automation to your team members and they get paid $40 an hour, there's 4 of them, and it saves them each 10 hours a week. Well, you can do the math over weeks and months and years, and these automations can save you a lot of time and make you a lot of money. So similar platforms to N8N are Zapier and Make.com. I'm sure you've heard of them. Make.com, I would say, is a better choice than Zapier. Zapier can get pretty expensive with the amount of money you have to spend per executions, and so the difference between all of these three is that with N8N, you can actually self-host it through Hostinger, or you can actually run it on your local computer, so you can run as many automations as you want. Now, there is a way you can run it with N8N, and you'll be hosting it on their cloud server, but like I said before, you can self-host it and save yourself some money that way. The beauty of N8N is there's very low skills required, so the biggest skill gap would be learning JavaScript, but you can also use pre-built templates that you can just install and get automations working for you automatically that other people have built for you. And there's visual drag and drop. So you don't have to really code anything into place. You just select a tool, select an agent, build it out, and then you might have to add some things later. But the no-code, low-code platform allows us to use that drag and drop interface, which is pretty sweet. Now, this is just a very high-level overview of some of the components of N8N. There are trigger nodes. So for example, if we come over to this workflow right here, we are triggering the workflow through me talking to this agent. So this is a very high-level overview of the components of N8N, just to keep it simple. How I like to think and break down N8N is there are trigger nodes, and then workflows and data flow. And so if we look at the trigger nodes here, I've got manual trigger, schedule trigger, and chat trigger. A chat trigger would be this right here, where I am speaking to the agent, and the workflow starts based off what I am typing into this chat trigger right here, and this will start the workflow. Now, a schedule trigger would be something a bit different, but it would essentially trigger the workflow based on a time sync. So every 5 minutes, this schedule trigger would run this automation. There's also a manual trigger, and so this is a trigger that allows us to execute the workflow when we execute right here. There are also nodes, so you've got Google Sheets, Appify as an example, and you can think of these as connected apps, individual building blocks that integrate your data into N8N. And so if we come over to this workflow here, we've got a calendar and an Airbase table, and these are apps that we connect to import our data into the N8N workflow. Now, an example workflow would be trigger action, and then the automation would run. So we've got right here an error trigger. And so any error that would come into our workflow would trigger this error workflow, which would then update the data into a Google Sheet and send us an email. And so we've got a trigger, we've got the actions, and then we've got the full data and workflow. Here is another example of an Appify web scraping and Google Sheet storage. And so we were scraping leads through Appify on a schedule trigger. So every hour we would scrape leads. We'd wait for the results. We would then get the results, put it into a Google Sheet, and then our Google Sheet would be full of leads for us. And so we've got trigger, action, and then the full data workflow. Another reason I love N8N is the use of AI agents. So in this workflow here, all I have to do is type in an AI agent. Now we essentially have access to what is a robot that just completes tasks for us whenever you want it to. You can have it work as if you were to talk to it like ChatGPT, or you could actually have it complete tasks for you while you're not interacting with it at all. So why N8N versus competitors? N8N is free, so you can self-host it, whereas Make.com and Zapier will cost you more money in the long run. Your data stays private through self-hosting. You're going to have to host it through Make.com and Zapier's cloud platforms if you decide to go that route. Customize anything you need. So like I was saying before, N8N is definitely the more advanced automation platform, and I find there's just a lot more you can do with your data in the N8N platform. So for beginners, I think that make.com is an okay choice, but once you get to some more advanced automations, then you might want to switch to N8N anyways. And so I just started with N8N and learned that over time. So N8N is more powerful. There's complex workflows that other automation platforms can't handle. Better error handling and debugging tools. We've got unlimited operations. Other platforms limit you. And so with the capabilities and the pricing and self-hosting options of N8N, I think it's definitely the best automation platform choice. Let's get into a live demo of how to build an AI agent through N8N. If you want to learn how to get started or self-host with N8N, I will leave a video up right here or in the link down below. Let's build this from scratch. So we're going to delete all of this and we will add in a chat trigger because we're going to connect this to an AI agent that we can talk to. Now we'll add in our AI agent here and we will give it a brain. And so you can think of this as just, if you ever heard of ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that, these are the LLMs that you'll be connecting here. And so this is just giving our agent a brain. And now we need to add in a simple memory node, and this will allow our agent to get context from our chat and allow it to read more than just one text out of our conversation. And so whatever tool you have that you want to use in your automation, you can come over here to tools and I will select Airtable. And now we will get access to our Airtable right here. And so you'll actually need to connect through all of your tools through this credential system. Each tool that you have, you'll most likely need to get an access token from the actual website. So you would sign in and go to APIs and keys and find a key and enter it here. And so now if I execute this step, I actually have all of the data from an Airtable sheet that I have right here. And so this is just an example of how you can give your data into N8N and it can start automating tasks for you. Another example of a tool we might want to use is a Google Calendar. So if we want to automate scheduling throughout our day, we can add a Google Calendar tool right here. Let's just mess around with the agent here. Hey, how are you? And now we've accessed the OpenAI GPT-4.1 mini. So now we've got a fully working AI agent that has access to these tools. So if we ask it, what tools do you have access to? It will give us an answer here. And you can see it's using the simple memory to be able to actually go through all of our conversation here. So there you go. I have access to tools that allow me to interact with Google Calendar, such as creating events, and I can also access records in Airtable. So there you go. Our agent has access to both of these tools. Now this system is just a simple AI agent system, so we have to interact with it in order to. So this system is just a simple AI agent, and so we'll have to interact with it in order for it to complete tasks for us. If you build an automation that runs on a schedule trigger of some sort and will run in the background for you, you will turn on this automation to active and it can perform tasks without you interacting with it. And so now that you know what N8N is and you've just seen a simple agent built, you can probably start thinking of all of the tools that you have access to outside of this platform, how you can start integrating them and all of the possibilities. If you want to learn more about AI and take your automations to the next level, I just launched my Skool community, the AI Automations Club, where you can come in, download my automations template and get 80 to 90% of the way there, as well as be a part of a great community. So I will see you inside. And guys, that is a simple overview of what N8N is. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.